When I win this fight, I'm not gonna be afraid of anybody, but if I had to pick who I'm more afraid of, Paddy or the fans, it's gotta be the fans. The Liverpool crowd is amazing and crazy. So the Viking team came into my career actually in my first MMA gym in Denmark, in my local gym, so to speak. They were called True Vikings, and as a parting gift, so to speak, when I left for Copenhagen to the big leagues, they gave me the nickname before I had none. So when I left for the last time there, I was Søren the True Viking Bak. I had to pick one character from the Viking series. It actually have to be Floki. I love the devious nature of him and the way he also can step into a fight and kill with his axe. If I had to pick a character in Vikings for Paddy, it would have to be the first king in the Vikings community. The guy who's like, he's on top of everything, but in the end, he's gonna lose the fight. So when I started MMA fighting in Denmark, it was quite small. It was a little event, and I was the major underdog. I was fighting an amateur fight, but it was my debut in his like eighth fight, and he was the local guy. So coming from that background, it was not clear how far I would go. But already 2 weeks after my first win, I had my first semi-pro fight, and I was hooked, and I knew I would go to the top, whether it be Cage Warriors or UFC, wherever. So I actually began fighting from a very young age. In my books, wrestling is fighting too. So when I was 6 years old, I had 2 other cousins fighting wrestling in like the world leagues, and they were a major inspiration for me. So I started wrestling, and I became quite good at it. And then I turned around, I believe it's 15, and then we opened an MMA gym that would practice after the wrestling. And my trainer was like, maybe you should come try this. I think this might be something for you. And I did, and I loved it. And turning 18, I had my first fight, and never stopped. To dethrone one of Europe's greatest stars in his home city, it would mean a lot to me. And it's something I've kind of been doing already, not on the same scale as Paddy Pimblett, but you see all my fights in Cage Warriors have actually been kind of that setup where I come as the underdog and to a home crowd and fighting the home guy. So I love that kind of dynamics it gives me, and the energy I get from the audience and trying to turn them around to be a fan of mine instead. I definitely see myself reaching the same kind of notoriety that you see other MMA superstars do, like Conor McGregor and Dan Hardy. It's just a matter of time, and when Conor McGregor was 25, that was when he won the belt. That's my time now. My prediction for this fight is that we're gonna initially come out throwing. I'm gonna close the distance, maybe fuck him up against the cage, eventually take him down, let my elbows work, and Paddy's gonna give me a submission when he can't bleed no more. When I say that Paddy spends too much time on his back, you could just watch when he lost the title in Liverpool. He was on his back in every single of the 5 rounds he fought. And it's cool that the people like to fight from the bottom. You just have to be effective at it. And in that fight, Paddy wasn't. So I've fought in Liverpool before. I've fought against Martin Stapleton. Coming from Manchester, he was kind of still the home crowd guy. It was a very good fight for me. I took him down and finished him in the first round. If I had to say something about the Liverpool crowd, they're very loud and they're very energetic, and it seems like they know what they know fighting, and that's very cool to see in the audience. I would lie if I didn't say I consider buying a Man United shirt just to piss Paddy off. But as of now, I can't promise anything. This is the biggest fight in MMA in European history. We're gonna go out. Paddy's got the biggest following in any fighter in Europe. I'm the best fighter in Europe. We're gonna see what really stands up against each other. Paddy Pimblett, September 1st, we're gonna go down, find out who's the best lightweight in the world.